Respected elders, educationists, dear teachers, and dear students, welcome. In this class, we are to see five couplets from 361 to 365 under the chapter 37, having the head, helping desire, helping desire. Come, a beautiful couplets. Tirukural, comments and explanations of the new dimension, five couplets from 361 to 365. Live 164, dated 22/12/2024. Virtue chapter 37, ascetic virtue, curbing of greed, destroying disgraceful desire. Couplet 361. As per the voice, the unique quality of all living things in all times is known as a desire of living things. Again, as per the voice, the unique quality of all living things in all times is known as the desire of living things. What is the message? Vallabhan says, it is the view of the voice. He says, that is the biological qualities that all living things is having on all times is known as desire. The biological quality that all living beings are having is known as desire. That is, from the one sense plants to the five senses animal, all every kind of living thing is having their own unique biological quality. That unique biological quality is known as desire. Continuity. The unique quality that all living things have in all time is known as desire. Core. Desire is the biological quality of living things. Explanation. Mind. Grass feels touch. Snail feels taste. Ant feels smell. Bee feels sight. Man feels sound. These are five senses. These hereditary feelings are called desire. That is, plants has one sense. Then some beings like snail have two senses. Then some beings, some living things like ant have three senses. Some living things like bee have four senses. Then all animals, including man, have five senses. These five senses are called desire. Again, as per the voice, the unique quality of all living things in all times is known as desire of living things. That is, the biological unique qualities that all living beings are having is known as desire. Then, chapter 362, rebirth should go when wanting. Rebirth would go when avarice is abundant. Again, the couplet. Rebirth should go when wanted. Rebirth would go when avarice is abundant. What is the message? This one says, he talks about the rebirth. If nature asks a man, what do you want? He would say, I don't want rebirth. If nature asks a man what he wants, he would say, I want no rebirth. I want no rebirth. It is, I don't like to be born again. This is the message. You can say, if a man wants to avoid rebirth, he should give up greed. If a man wants to avoid rebirth, he should give up greed. This is the message of this covenant. That is, a rebirth should go when wanted. If a man, if a man is asked what, if a man is asked what he wants, he would say, "I want not to be born again. I want not to be born again. I don't want rebirth." If a man wants not to be born again, if a man wants not to, if a man wants to avoid rebirth, he should give up greed. Content. If we want to drive away sufferings, we should renounce greed. The messenger of suffering is greed. The messenger of suffering is greed. Explanation. Life is a mixture of various elements of opposite qualities. Life is a mixture of positive and negative qualities. If the life coupled with the love and virtue is perfection, this concept itself is a desire, isn't it? That is, what one says, the life coupled with the love and virtue is a perfect life. So, and wanting a perfect life itself is a desire. So, instead of using the term desire, if you use greed, that is avarice. Avarice is the root cause of miseries. It would be act. It would be miserable. Then rebirth should go when one day. If a man, if a man is asked what he wants, he would say, I don't want rebirth. I don't want a rebirth. That is, I don't like to be born again. So, if a man wants to avoid rebirth, he should give up greed. He should totally give up greed. Couplet 363. There is no glorious wealth like lack of desire. There is none equal to it both on earth and heaven ever. Again, there is no glorious wealth like a lack of desire. There is none equal to it both on earth and heaven ever. What is the message? Wolfman says that is the absence of greed. The absence of greed is the glorious wealth. What is the glorious wealth? The absence of greed is the glorious wealth. That is, lack of greed, not having greed, lack of greed. Yes, absence of greed is the glorious wealth. There is the greatest wealth is not having greed. There is no wealth so great as absence of desire. There is no wealth so great as absence of desire, both on the earth and in heaven. Relevant says, Absence of desire is the glorious wealth. Absence of desire is the glorious wealth. There is no one so great as absence of desire, both on earth and in heaven. Actually, there is no heaven. But for the for couplet's sake, I am explaining it. That's all. Content. Not having greed for material things is the greatest wealth on the earth. There is no wealth equal to it, even in heaven. Okay? Not having greed for material things is the greatest wealth on the earth. There is no wealth equal to it, even in heaven. Co. Not enjoying greed is the greatest wealth. Not enjoying greed is the greatest wealth. Explanation. That is my verse. There is no temple greater than mother. There is no friend greater than father. There is no concept greater than toiling. There is no wealth greater than lack of greed. There is no wealth greater than not having greed. There is no greater wealth greater than not having greed. Again, there is no glorious wealth like lack of desire. There is none equal to it, both on earth and heaven ever. That is, not having desire. Not having desire is the great, is the glorious wealth. Not having desire is the is the glorious wealth. There is no wealth so great as not having desire, both on the earth and in heaven. Chapter 364. Purity is absence of greed. That purity can be got by loving truth sans greed. Purity is the absence of greed. That purity can be got by loving truth sans greed. That is, Vulcan says, what is purity of the mind? The purity of the mind is not having greed. Purity of the mind is not having greed for anything. That purity can be obtained. That purity can be obtained by loving truth. Valiban says, what the purity of the mind is not having greed. That purity of the mind can be got by loving truth. The purity of the mind is not entertaining avarice. If you want purity, you must love truth. Call. Greed is the enemy of the purity of the mind. It is who is the enemy of purity? Greed. Greed is the enemy of the purity of the mind. Then, explanation. A verse of mind. If you want material riches, work hard. If you want mental riches, learn virtuous writings. If you want sincere friends, practice honesty. If you want purity of the mind, give up avarice. Again, purity is absence of greed. What is purity? The purity of the mind is not having greed. If a man wants to be free, if a man wants pure mind, if a man wants the purity of the mind, he should love truth. Couple 365. Those who renounced greed are sense greed. Others are in sense greed. That is, he says, those who have fully renounced greed are sans greed. Others are not sans greed. One says, who are greedless and who are greedy. One defines who are greedless and who are greedy. Those who have totally given up greed for things. Those who have totally given up greed for things or greedless greedless are free from greed. Those who have totally given up their desire for things are greedless. Those who haven't fully given up their desire for things are not free from greed. They are greedy. Those who have fully given up their desire for the things are greedless. Those who haven't given up their desire fully are greedy. You see, people who have fully given up the greed for material and mental riches would be taken as free from greed. People who have fully given up the greed for material and mental riches would be taken as free from greed. For freed from greed is totally renouncing greed for things. Freed from greed is totally renouncing greed for things. Then my words explanation. Those who totally given up greed for earthly riches are the great. Those who totally given up greed for eating are ascetics. Those who totally given up greed for clothing are the wise. Those who totally given up all greeds are the greedless. This, this is my person. This is my definition. See, World One says those who have totally given up their desire for things are greedless. Those who have not given up their desire fully are greedy. Thus, respected elders, education and dear students. Thus, we have seen the five beautiful couplets. See here, Vardhaman says that is a helping desire. It is not desire, it is a greed. The curbing greed is most important. But actually, uh, desire is a basic quality. Vardhaman in Chapter 361 says the unique biological quality is desire. So the biological unique quality cannot be given up. There is must there is genetic quality that cannot be given up. But man, man alone, because because the sixth power, rationalizing power. So man alone is highly responsible for various kinds of evils on the earth, not other living things. It is man who is highly responsible for all kinds of sorrows and sufferings, all kinds of evil practices. It is man. So, we should be taken as that is, we should give up avarice. That is greed. What's over desire? Greed. We should give up. Greed should be given up. Because greed is a cancer. It would tempt a man to do all kinds of all evil deeds. So, if a man totally renounces greed, he can lead a pleasant and peaceful life. So, respected elders, educationists, dear teachers and dear students, I thank all of you for patiently and keenly listening to my comments regarding the five couplets principle 361 to 365 under the head 37 under the chapter 37 having the head curbing desire. Respected elders, educationists, dear teachers, and my dear children, till I meet you in the next class, I thank all of you and wish all of you a very nice and sweet